Western.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome
Yo.
to the Thieves podcast.
Yeah.
As
Yo.
always,
We are here to talk
captains.
about tanks and women.
Yes, and Russians and you know, all the rest, all the other fun stuff. You know, you got your Captain Evely music, Ultimate Kahuna, and
How?
yours
How?
truly, AC Pritchard.
Au revoir.
Yeah.
Arigato.
Arigato.
Gato.
It doesn't gato mean gat, not gat, cat in
Gat.
Spanish.
Gat.
I think it means gat, yeah. I think it means that.
Definitely Japanese, but anyway.
It makes me want to watch Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, actually.
That movie is so bad, but it's so good. It's so good.
That sentence ended correctly. It started off bad, but then it
Yeah,
ended
I
correctly.
saw your pause, and you're like, no, that movie was the F word. Fun.
That movie was, yeah.
Oh, so let's say out of the chat real quick. We got Bill Armstrong. We got a couple of beautiful double-dipping men. That sounded weird in that context, in that order, with those words. Yeah, Brian McCoppin. How the hell are you, dude? No, not like every other. No, Tokyo Drift is unique, even among the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
movies.
Gaijin? You sound like a real gaijin. Can I say that on the YouTube? Is that a bad word?
Gaijin?
I think
Yeah.
you can.
It depends on how you mean it, but no.
I think it's fair play.
It's like there's these YouTubers I know who like live in Japan, and that's part of what they make their content about, a lot of like culture stuff and then traveling. It's fun, it's interesting. But they're like, hey, we're gonna go learn how to drift, and then they like traveled over, they watched that movie the night before. I'm like, you guys are fucking the whitest fucking people I've ever seen. And I would do the exact same thing.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah. No, I feel that one deep. Also, before I let Justin take away the kind of synopsis of this film, I know there's something I want to bring up. It's something I noticed. I love watching movies about the Middle East before the war in Iraq, because America was so anti-Russian that anyone that the Russians were opposing at that time were considered the good guys. And so the Afghans, the like Pakistanis, and some of the Iraqis were like, in all movies old enough, were all the good guys in the films. Like even Rambo 3 was the same way. I'm like, this is a weird trip a little bit, yeah. And I never noticed the trend until this film. I'm like, actually, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yo, we got a super chat. I see a Paladin shirt. Automatic super chat. That would be Mr. Justin. Oh, you even got you fancy boy. You even got the book.
There you go. Yeah, if you haven't picked these up, I don't know what you're doing with your free time. These are serious, man. It's so good.
Our second ever super chat.
Hell yeah, brother.
First one from the community. I believe the other one was just, I think somebody, like a random person.
It was just a random guy during one of the Naomi King streams, like $20 out of nowhere. I was like, oh,
so it didn't,
stranger.
It didn't really count then. So McCoppin gets to claim first ever, I think.
McCoppin is the king.
His house works.
Brian is first, obviously.
And from the shower, of course.
Thank you, Brian. You're the real one.
I'll have you know I was thinking about you in the shower. And so, yeah, no, we are Sam. We are Sam. Oh, Christ almighty.
But yeah, this week's movie is about tanks, in honor of our guest, Tank Ferret, which Tank unfortunately couldn't make it with us, but he's a fantastic artist and a great member of the community. Cool guy.
Yeah.
Does his own podcasts.
He stepped aside. So since Tank Ferret can't make it, I went ahead and I called up Squirrel Lav to see if he could come on the show.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
Yeah. How's Squirrel doing these days?
Oh, he's doing good. Same thing with Chinchilla RPG. I'm gonna see if I can get him to come on.
Is this real?
No, these are not real. Quokka 50 cal. I'm gonna see if he can jump in here. I'm just listing small rodents and then
barracuda.
Fish. That's a fish.
Yeah.
I'm thinking ferret style animals like little rodents of some sort.
You gotta get weird with it though.
45 long cold capybara.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I think you got it. I think that's it.
What caliber of rodent do you possess?
What caliber rodent? Okay, you heard him, chat. Okay, that's the poll this week. That's the poll.
Was there more attached to that thought, or was that?
But before I get to the poll, I just want to say,
fascinating. No. Delve deeper.
Go on.
Very good. Me like.
Yeah.
No, it works out. But how many tank movies? Like, we were talking about tank movies, and this movie, Tank Ferret said this was a good one to watch, and I agree. But how many tank movies are there, like that are like actual movies? Can't be many. There's Fury. There's this.
I like this one better than Furry.
I prefer it over Furry as well. Although I feel like Shia LaBeouf would have also been good in this film.
I've actually never seen Fury. It just looks hot and like claustrophobic.
I think you'd like it, man.
Hot and loud and claustrophobic seems like how I don't want to spend 2.5 hours.
No. AC. No, he's not talking about the movie. He's talking about actually being in the tank now.
Yeah.
No. I think you would like it actually.
Sitting in a tank.
You get. We just watched Ace Ventura, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We know. We know.
Is there a scene like that with a tank?
With the orifice? You know the scene with the orifice.
Yes.
Yes.
So every tank needs a little fan inside of it as a callback to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And honorable mention, but The Last Crusade is not a tank film. It is a film with a tank. It is not a tank film. But thank you for being here. It's like, thank you for your comment that you're absolutely wrong about, Anne. Anyway.
Oh, and welcome, Anne.
Yes, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. Yeah, this is a very welcoming space where we don't shame anyone for being incorrect, obviously.
Never.
Oh, and who was...
What
was the name of the Afghani guy, like the Muslim guy, who's part of the tank crew originally in this movie? That actor, he's in he's in so many different shows. And I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen him this young in a movie before.
I think he played a character named Sahad, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
just close to So Hot, which would be accurate because
So Hot. Wait,
desert.
Whoa, never mind.
And he's very handsome. So there you go.
Anyway, now that that's over,
it's his jawline.
I'm just finishing up the poll here.
And also, like, this movie was filmed. It looked like it was filmed on. I don't know if it was. It looked like it was filmed on location. And it's possible that it was, because people actually cared about that. Okay, fine, Kahuna, that's all I get. Okay, fine. No, but I do like that about this movie. It did feel like it was authentic, and it felt very in your face and there, very nitty gritty, like realistic as these kind of films tend to get. And it's like, also, I am curious, like when the helicopter brought them fuel, it's like, is that enough fuel for a tank? It was like 2 5-gallon tank. How much tank does how much fuel does a tank use?
Way more than that, according to Rock.
100% way more than that.
Yeah, I looked that up afterwards. It's like, because I was actually curious about the ammo count. Like, is this actually, would they have this many shells in there? And I think that part was accurate, but the gas bit was a little bit.
Depending on the tank, some of them can store a lot of ammo.
Yeah, it was the ammo count was, they can hold a lot of ammo, a lot of shells, a lot of rounds.
Bill, don't bring up my damn mouth running away with me. How much tank does a fuel use? Yeah, that's what I said. I was trying to ignore it.
I got to go with the 357 True. I like the way that sounds.
Yeah.
Which this actually reminds me. Did you guys ever play the game Squirrel with a gun?
No, I wanted to. Is it good?
It's a little bit janky and indie, but it was fun enough. Like its mechanics are simple, but there's some fun and funny.
I think if it's a meme
parts of it.
game, it doesn't matter as much if it's like
it
perfectly
is, but it's
sound.
not. Yeah, it's not over the top, Mimi. It's got those elements, but it's not as much.
There's also a game where it's like a regular versus sword game, but it's or no, it's not even a sword game. It's a turn-based RPG, but you use dinosaurs with swords and melee weapons.
Oh, I saw that. That looks so good, dude.
It doesn't it look so good? Like the animation is insane. It's actually really good.
Is it just called Dinosaur?
Dude.
Can we watch this later? Can we pull up a trailer later on after we talk about the movie and see what this is?
Yeah. Pull it up. We'll add that to the queue.
I'll look for it here in a minute.
I will make a note to make sure we get to this next.
Because there's kind of like tank.
In lieu of Tank Ferret, we'll take out Dino Swords.
In honor.
There's been some really good tank games in the past too that we can talk about. Like
dude. Battle tanks, bro. That's the one.
Tanks, yeah.
Like is that the OG one?
Battle Zone is, I don't know. I have, as an adult looking back on it, I have a hunch that the U.S. military had a hand in developing Battle Zone because a lot of it it was one of those games that felt authentic, almost like you're doing like a space tank simulator.
Yeah.
It was very realistic too, like the U.S. is fighting over the moon and Mars and just everything in the solar system and stuff. So we can talk about that later.
The Coppin brings to the table 380 Demon Beaver.
Oh, Demon Beaver!
It's not
quite
a
rodent. Think of a beaver.
It's close.
Damn it, dude! 357 Beaver would have been pretty great.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to say Big Boar Beaver. It just kind of sounds sus, dude, a little bit.
It's a little sus.
It's like the movie The Naked Gun. Nice beaver. Thanks. I just had it stuffed.
Yep.
I love that movie. Every frame of it.
The Beast of War, man. It was like I couldn't help but feel like it would be like a really good graphic novel. It would
it had that pacing.
I feel like they had a really good whoever their cameraman was and whoever was behind managing all that knew their homework. They had their schooling in order or something, because you could age the movie up and just like have higher resolution cameras and better mics with the same camera angles, and it would hold up. I'm pretty sure.
No, in the pacing, it would be really good for a graphic novel as well. There's slow moments. There's a lot of landscape kind of shots. There's and while the camera work in the movie was great, the angles and how that they can make it more or less dramatic in a graphic novel format as well. 9mm. I imagine that's how she said it. Obviously,
I made the Squirrel the 9mm because squirrels are common. 9mm are common. It's like your standard, rodent caliber.
7mm blackout flying squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those little flying rodents called sugar gliders?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're this little mouse that they have like a bodysuit naturally, and they can fly. You can keep them. They're super expensive. For my entire childhood, I thought they were called sugar babies, and that's how I referred to them. And I talked about how much sugar babies cost, and that was something that happened in my life, and I regret it.
I thought sugar babies were a candy.
They are also that. They're also women. That's all I need to say about that. Moving on.
Emily, you got that? You got a rundown?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is sugar babies. The candy. I remember those. They get stuck in your teeth.
Oh yeah.
All stuck in your mouth, and you're like, "Why do I hate these?"
They were such shit.
It was just too much. I'd take them over like a Mike and Ike, which is maybe one of the worst candies on the planet. But
I like those.
I remember those.
Damn.
Do you like licorice? Ugh.
No, not licorice. That's disgusting. I like.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of Good and Plenty. I got the wrong candy. Good and Plenty is the one I'm thinking of.
That's the devil's candy. That's like all they would feed you in hell is.
Just that and celery.
Jelly babies just sounds like how you describe American children.
Jelly babies.
look at the jelly babies. Look at them. They jelly.
Look at the jiggle.
All right, AC, to get to your question, or did you want to go on with Sugar real quick?
Oh, my final thought is a sugar baby would be a good nickname for a tank.
Sugar baby. All right.
I just think of a prostitute.
Yeah.
Also, I have to confess something based on Bill's comment. Bill earlier, he said, "What did he say? Where the hell was it?" The Ultimate Kuna. How do you see Lawrence of Arabia post Iraq? I have a confession to make.
I've never seen it.
I, the Ultimate Kahuna, have never seen and do not even know the plot of Lawrence of Arabia. That is all.
Yikes.
I know,
we'll have to
dude.
get that on here.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
We'll have to have
That
Arabian
makes
week.
sense, though.
Oh.
We'll have to have some
For
Arabian week.
for me, it's like a defamation of character. For you, it's like, yeah, it's Justin.
I've also never seen Ben-Hur, but I own both. Same thing with the Prince of Egypt.
Ben-Hur either.
Ben-Hur? I barely... Never mind.
Damn it, dude, we were about to say the same.
You guys ever
so
see
this...
Oh, you go. I gotta check on the kid.
Okay. This movie, they don't set it up why the conflict is happening at the beginning. Unless I missed something. They never actually say what is going on, like why Russia is fighting in Afghanistan, correct?
They don't. They expect you to have some historical understanding that they were at war.
Yeah, no. I didn't understand, because that impacts directly, like, I couldn't figure out as the movie's happening, because we'll talk about kind of the gray nature of it. And is this guy seems like a jerk, but why are they here? And it starts off with, just an absolute massacre. But I'm like, was this a retaliatory strike because they did something really bad first? Or did they just go in because they're jerks? But apparently during the time, if you're like me and not familiar of what was happening, basically the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979 primarily to support a pro-Soviet government and prevent the spread of Islamic fundamentalism in the region. So they were in there to try and make, the Soviet Union look strong, and while they were at it, prevent the spread of that. And that was basically the reason.
Their own style of government and a subordinate ally is what they were hoping for.
Yeah, so that context maybe would have, if I knew the history a little bit better, maybe would have changed my opinion on some of it. But in any case, the movie takes place in 1981 Afghanistan. The Beast of War, as it's called in some regions, just the Beast, unleashes a gripping tale of survival. A Soviet tank crew led by ruthless commander Daskal, played by George Zunza, stranded in the brutal desert after a village raid. Hunted by the vengeful Mujahideen leader Taj, played by Stephen Bauer, their T-62 tank, called the Beast, becomes a steel trap. The Beast. The Beast.
The Beast.
The Beast. As young soldier Constantine, played by Jason Patric, defies Daskal's tyranny, Mutiny brews, and the relentless desert closes in. With ambushes at every turn, this high-stakes chase explodes into a thrilling showdown of wits, betrayal, and raw vengeance. Starring George Zunda, Jason Patric, Stephen Bauer, Stephen Baldwin, the other Baldwin.
The one who has not allegedly murdered people on set.
Yes, he did not know. Yeah, in this film, all the deaths were accidental. So
they called him the joke Baldwin. Who's
not accidental. Now? They didn't occur.
Also, I want to bring up that AC's beautiful wife, Lawrence of your labia. Thank you Thank you for that. We all needed to hear it.
It also stars Eric Avari. That's who you were saying who played Samad. I know him from The Mummy. He was a character in The Mummy. That's where I know him from. But
he was.
Yeah, and this movie was directed by Kevin Reynolds, which I didn't. Does that name ring a bell for anybody? It did not for me. And then I looked up what else he'd worked on. I was like, oh dang, he's got some credits here.
I didn't even hear what you said.
Directed by Kevin Reynolds. You know the name?
I do. I don't remember what else he's.
So he directed Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He directed The Count of Monte Cristo, and most importantly, it's kind of overrated film. And most importantly,
how dare you?
Kind of an overrated story. Most importantly, he also directed the masterpiece that is Waterworld. So,
I love that movie.
Speaking of insanity, this movie's budget was $8 million. And what would you guys speculate a movie like this might make in a theater? Budget was $8 million. It's the 80s. What do you think?
So this feels like a movie that would underperform considering how high quality it is.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree.
Well,
I'm gonna say 82 million.
I would
crazy, but
if I didn't already know the answer, I would say I would compare it to Oppenheimer. right? Because it's kind of like the same type of ponderous, like it very much has a goal. Like the movie is realistic, and they sympathize, one side of it a little bit more than the other, and
Not the evil Russians.
So I would say something like that, which those bigger movies, and like you can look at there's some celebrities in there, but maybe not the biggest. It's not like it's not like Schwarzenegger or something. But
can you imagine him in this?
That'd be pretty wild. Yeah,
very different.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy
he would
that.
just stuff his arm in the tank and like have it do a back shot.
They'd be like, put him under the tracks, and he'd be like, I'll go under the tracks myself. And they'll
start just bench pressing the tank.
Yeah.
So the budget, $8 million, and it made 160,000.
Woo!
Yeah. So I don't even understand how that's possible.
Fortunate.
Like we'll talk about it. It's it's a decently made movie. It's not like a total disaster where you're watching and just like, how did this get made? It's competently put together.
Mm-hmm.
$8 million. It made 160,000. I'm perplexed. I need to ask Grok how this happened.
How did that?
I have one thing to say real quick. You could say that it tanked. Okay.
we have.
That was someone wrote that down at some.
No, I'm mad at myself that I didn't think of that.
I'm confident that the world didn't even know that this existed until us. So.
I had never heard of it until you guys brought it up.
Tank Ferret.
I didn't watch
Likewise.
any part of it today.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he mentioned it, and then I was Googling it or looking for it on YouTube or whatever, and I found that Critical Drinker did a review of it, and I watched that, and he's like, "This movie's pretty good. You should probably go out and watch it." It's like, all right, Critical Drinker. This movie's about the tank.
And it
it's
was
a big tank in the desert.
Pre-pandemic drinker or during pandemic drinker, so he wasn't like a megastar yet. But like that's just another. See, this is why the dude became a megastar, because how many times do you think this happened where people like went back on his backlog and they were like, "Damn, he was right about that too," and he was saying it like years ago. You know what I mean? So, like,
it definitely sounded like this.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. And I was like, I need to watch. Okay, I figured it out. According to Grok, the reason this movie tanked is because it was only shown on 2 screens at first.
What?
Yeah, it like debuted and it was on 2 screens according to this. It was deprioritized, receiving little promotional support. They put no money into marketing, and they were like, it's not going to do well anyways, I guess. So they're like, whatever.
This movie considering how badly it tanked, this movie deserves much, much better.
Well,
this is a very, very good film.
It sounds like they didn't even
try.
Hold on now. It sounds like they didn't even try with the marketing and all that. Like,
yeah.
Did somebody just make this because they wanted to make it? Because, like, that would make a lot more sense why it's so high quality. Because if it's somebody's passion project, that would also freaking make sense why one side is so sympathized over the other, so much more sympathized over the other.
They said it was a transition, whatever the word is. They were changing it was a time. It was a trans time at Columbia Pictures. Yeah. Yes, and because of that, it was just like management changing, and it was just one of these films that got caught in the tracks, so to speak, and just kind of,
Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember when we watched Treasure Planet? Did we ever go into the some of the conspiracies behind that?
No, it's no conspiracy. I know exactly why it tanked. Also, no tanks.
Oh, okay, go on.
It was a film. It was a passion project by the duo directors. They directed a bunch of the Renaissance Disney films that did really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
And they wanted to make this movie for like a decade before they were allowed to make it.
Yep.
And finally, after Disney said, "Hey, fine, you were promised this by the last director of Disney Animation. We'll honor his deal with you, but you have to do 2 more movies that make money." And then they did. One of them barely made money, but he's like, "All right, you did your thing. Here's your movie. And we're also not going to market it very well. We're going to release it at the wrong time, and we're kind of getting out of 2D animation as it is." And they boned that thing on purpose.
Because it helped them get out of 2D animation even faster. Because then they could point at that movie and they're like, See, it went 50-50 on it. The problem is they didn't go all the way on the animation with this, and that's what they did. Like the trailer that they released for Treasure Planet, it gave away the entire story. It didn't have the same marketing. For example, every other Disney movie had toys at McDonald's, but like Treasure Planet didn't, from what I remember. Little things like that, but they all add up, and it forms a conspiracy at the end of the day for these poor guys who this was their passion project. Like one of the dudes did the Black Cauldron. That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah. So I suspect
That
maybe
movie's not
something
very
like that.
good, though.
I suspect something like that maybe for this. Like this dude was like really pushing his studio. He's like, I want to sympathize these people. This conflict's going on right now. Yada yada yada. I'm willing to do all this work, and they're like, yeah, I guess, but we're not going to give a crap. Because I don't know, like why throw millions at it when if you're not even going to try to make any of the money back? Like it can't be a mistake because these guys like. You listen to all the other movies he listed. It's not like it was that many learning experiences. All those other movies are pretty big. Men in Tights, Waterworld, like.
Yeah, no, and
Men in Tights.
he's proven he can direct a good film.
Right.
He's proven it, and he's directed good films. And Justin, don't you open your mouth? Just how dare you, sir?
How dare.
Anyway, we're talking about this, but this movie is. I think maybe at my expectations being so low going into this film, maybe that's playing into why I like it as much as I do. Because I've seen other films from this era, even military films, that are not very good. This movie was surprisingly good, and I really, really enjoyed
it. Yeah, I agree. And one scene that really stood out to me was when the tank was like shooting. You'll know what scene. The tank was like surrounding itself with like a flamethrower, and it was like
that was sick.
Yeah, dude, and that was one of the scenes. I think that was the scene where I'm like, yeah, this could be a graphic novel, 100%. Just because like the angle of it, and I don't know, like give these guys higher resolution cameras and better microphones, and the movie holds up. I swear to God.
And like that's just something you expect with older films anyway. Like the movie is story-wise interesting. It was pre 9/11 Islamic culture, which was more interesting when we weren't at war with them.
Yep.
A few other things, but
very interesting. Yeah.
And like some of the shots were really good. Like even like from right on top of the barrel moving as the tank moved to aim. That was a dope shot. I liked all part of that.
You can tell they got real tanks, like.
Yeah, it's not the exact same model, but they took one and modified it to make it match the way that it should have visually, but there were some liberties taken as well. And that's something later on, because everything I read about this, people were like, so realistic, the most realistic, couldn't be more realistic, and I'm like...
I think they need more than 10 gallons. I think they need more than 20 gallons worth of fuel.
Yeah, there's some issues. I will say, man, the beginning was like harrowing. The tanks are rolling in and just taking out this entire village, and the people they have nothing. You know, they're fighting with like rocks or whatever, and these tanks are just decimating. Which part of me is like, why not just send in a plane? If you're just going to totally level a village, why not just drop a couple shells? I don't know if it's cheaper to send in the tanks, but I don't know. I guess they can hit and keep going.
Well,
but that scene was crazy.
Yeah, shells, do you think, because the tanks are shooting shells, but if you can just send the tanks in and just use gas and run them over, then I guess that's cheaper than shells or missiles. And
that scene was pretty effective as well.
Yeah.
Like get under the tank tread kind of thing, though.
Oh, yeah, that was... I fast forward there. I was like, I don't like this. And I was just like, don't want to see that.
I thought of another way that the situation could have unfolded the way it did, and that's if the U.S. military helped fund this, because they are responsible for so many, like Transformers, Independence Day. It's a surprising amount of American movies that the military and the Navy get their hands on, and it's unironically the ones that have like tanks and stuff in it, and jets, and Top Gun, all this stuff. So that would be another reason, like that $8 million, like $7 million of it could have been just government money
Yeah, but there wasn't. They didn't use that many military assets. They had one helicopter for one scene, and they had one tank, or at least one tank they showed on screen. But that probably means like 3 tanks.
That's true. That's true.
I will say too, if you all or haven't watched this movie and you're like, this sounds kind of cool and chat, just be warned. It's not like crazy brutal, but there's a handful of pretty brutal deaths in it.
It ain't nice, dude. Yeah, and that poor deer got fried. Was that a goat? I thought that was a goat. Also,
I don't know. And
it was a deer, and then it's like that's clearly a goat.
Yeah, the whole film basically the commander that's in charge of their tank. He's lost his mind more or less, and all he knows
No. According to 80s films, that's your average Russian.
Well, he's definitely all that matters to him is the war and the fight and like dying for his country. Classic. So he's just like, I must die for my country, and everybody's under me. And if you're disloyal and you're not on board, you might as well be an enemy. And so it causes a lot of problems because he's making some decisions, like the one to put the enemy combatant underneath the tank treads and then slowly run him over to send a message or what have you. And the other guys aren't like, yeah, this is great. They're like, this seems a little bit messed up. And that caused a lot of problems.
Remember when they kicked Justin out of the tank and left him tied to a rock in this film? You remember that?
Wait, why was it me?
That was my favorite death.
It just felt like you. It felt like you, like a good guy. He's like, I'm not the best guy in the world. I just don't believe in shooting women with a tank. Can we not?
Yeah. Dude, yeah, that scene, the whole movie, because it is intense and it's like kind of grounded where things go poorly, and you're like, yeah, it's war. Things are going to go poorly. So like nasty things are happening. There were a couple moments like that scene you're talking about, where it didn't unfold the way that I expected it to, which I was like, oh, okay, it's a movie. It's not just this, everything's bleak and terrible, even though a lot of it is. It's not purely that. It does still have a little bit of, you're watching a movie and they're trying to entertain you and not just leave you completely depressed, although it is fairly depressing on the whole. So the captain guy is going insane, and it's basically how his insanity, because he was traumatized in war as a youngin, more or less, how his insanity affects his crew, and then the war itself. Why are they there? They're questioning that. They have a translator amongst them who is he is Afghani, but his son is studying in Moscow, so he wants to try and learn more about the Russians, and he believes that if the two sides can learn more about each other, they can get along. And the commander doesn't agree with that worldview. Go ahead.
That's something. That's what we need. We need Islamic communists. That's what we need.
Yes.
Well, I don't remember his name. Was he? Yeah, Sahad thought so. And so they have likable characters on both sides, and people that seem like they're not just crazy war guys, but then they have the opposite too. Where they have I
also like the crazy guy. He feels convincingly shitty.
Yeah, he's a good bad guy. His motivations, it's to show you, I guess, on both sides, because the Mujahideen, they're driven by, they need to die in battle for Allah, and that's what's driving them. It's that Viking mentality of, if we die a glorious death in battle, we go to Valhalla, or we get to paradise, and it's just that dangerous mentality. And it just, the way those guys fight, they'll run at a tank with, sticks and rocks, and be like, that's fine. As long as we're in battle, we have no fear because we're going to go to paradise. And it's just crazy to see that. And you get it kind of the other side too, except that guy's well armed. He's doing it for his country instead of his God. But
what about Derek over here? He died of infection later. Does that count as dying in battle? Anybody?
Yeah.
Questions.
Right.
So it's just kind of they get separated from the rest of their crew, and the whole movie is basically the Muslim dudes that their village was blown up. They're trying to take out this tank that they call the Beast, and it's just them chasing after the tank and the tank fighting and running.
One RPG. They're putting a lot of faith in one RPG.
Yes. But there's infighting that goes on. Some of those guys, there's a family dynamic, and there's the rich cousin who's kind of an idiot, and then there's the kind of the poor guy, more or less, that
then there's the son
seems more level-headed.
then there's a son who's like very emotional and kind of, big goat fucker energy kind of going on there.
But even that guy, they kind of make you like him, but then he treats the women terribly. So it's got that whole setup that they do in movies sometimes where there's no good guys. Some guys have good qualities, some guys are clearly bad, but nobody's really good. And there's really no point in the war. And they even question at one point, and the guy says, how is it that we're the 1930s German military guys in this battle? I don't know if we can say the word on the internet, but
yeah, probably not.
I did not see that comment.
I did not see that.
I did not see it.
Yeah.
Right, I did not see it either.
Yeah.
Couldn't see it.
Also, a little anecdote. I've worked with a lot of military guys in my work. Obviously Justin has as well in his individual line of work. But no, a lot of military men in my line of work, doing construction and such. And all of them who've gone to Afghanistan have talked, or at least two of them have talked about this. It's like, yeah, no, it's weird. You'll be over there, you'll see a ginger or a redhead, and you look over at them. And he's like, yeah, I think he's probably just an informant or something. And then the guy doesn't speak English, and he speaks Afghani, and he's very, very much a local. And you're like, oh, from when the Russians were over here. How did that? Oh. That's why you exist. And so, you get these red-haired Arabics, and it's a very incongruous kind of thing to see over there, especially when you don't expect it. And, light skin, too. And so it's like, oh, okay, sure.
There's a lot of amazing ghost stories from the old Russian bases over there, too, because they basically... So that whole operation for them, from my understanding, was a big failure. The Soviets pulled out, and then... When we went in for Desert Storm and then Desert Storm 2.0 with Junia, what do you think we did? We went and we just took over the old Russian bases, and that's where we posted up. So, I mean, right off the bat, you can kind of see where that can cause problems with the locals are already familiar where all those are for starters, and B, they're all haunted, as it turns out. So. It's probably pretty intense, man. This movie was probably light on what actually went down, to be honest.
And I thought the soundtrack was good. It was adequate. It wasn't blow my socks off, but it was good. It was good at moments, and it was subtle enough to, I don't know. I thought it really worked for this film.
Yeah, it had that 1980s cinema score charm, where it's not orchestral, but it's this kind of in between where it's not pure synth either. And I like that because for me it's nostalgic. It feels comfortable. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like being a kid again. One thing that's insane about oh sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I like that too. It's this weird era. It wasn't an individual person who did it very much. It was just kind of a style for a period of time that slowly faded out, and I kind of miss it. It was fun.
It was 85 to 95. It was the synth keyboard where it has one, it's called cinema, and you press it and it makes the sound that's that. So it's where that keyboard came out, so everybody's using. But what's insane, we're talking about this war being these guys throwing sticks at tanks and stuff. The numbers that come up here from this conflict, somewhere between 14 and 15,000 Soviet soldiers were killed. Okay, but in terms of Afghanis, between 500,000 to 2 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was not good. And for those who don't know, allegedly, the U.S. and Russians have been fighting proxy wars using warlords from the Middle East for 40 years. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the setup though that I was talking about earlier, it creates non-stop scenarios for tension and constant threat, and you don't know if the guy the crazy captain, is he going to do something weird? They have that Afghani translator, so some of the guys aren't sure about him because he's very religious. In fact, that whole him practicing his religion ends up getting him shot by and killed by the commander guy. And then at the same time, the tank is leaking fluids. They're running out of gas. They're not quite sure where they're going. The map looks good, but the part of the map that the
map was
can't
burned.
see.
What do you mean it looked good?
It looks good because the part that's burned that you can't see, if you look at the context around it, it's like, oh, we go that way, we're going to get to safety. But they didn't realize that the part of the map that's burned was a giant chasm that there's no way to cross. So they dead end, and they're getting chased the whole time. And that was the scene that you were talking about with the deer. It's nighttime, they're parked, and they're looking at their radar, and they're surrounded. So they're all panicked and freaking out. They're running out of food and all that. Plus, you're in the heat in that tank all day. It's got to be miserable. And he's like, we're surrounded.
Imagine being those deers. What's this thing? Oh my.
Yeah, so they're surrounded, and the tank starts doing a 360 with a flamethrower, and they're just unloading in all directions. And then they send out the one guy to see what's going on. He comes back, he's like, it's deer. And then the next day, the Afghani guys that are in pursuit of the tank, they see there's not even that many deer. I was looking at the scene, I actually rewound it and paused it. I got to count like 5. Like, is a deer herd 5? Does that count as chat? Is
also,
that 5 enough?
I think that's a herd.
More goat-like than deer-like.
What caliber is the deer?
Yes.
Yeah.
But whenever the guys came up, they walked up on these slaughtered animals like, look, the Russians just kill just for fun. They don't even care. They're not even human. They did
not eat the goats. They did not marry goats. They did not enjoy the goats like we enjoyed the goats.
They care not for the goats.
Another that scene that there's a couple scenes that really stick with you. One that stuck out to me, and I was like, I bet AC enjoyed this just because of the realism of it. One guy sees a shell, and he's like, oh, a shell, we can use that for our army. And he goes to touch it, and of course it's a booby trap. So it blows up. He's slowly bleeding out, and the guys are like, leave him some water, and they just leave him there to die. And then the one guy puts him out of his misery. But then the next day, they have this cut to like this wide angle, and you can kind of see the faint silhouette of his corpse, and the wild dogs come up and they start eating his remains. It's like the next day, there's no burial for the guy, no nothing. And the women actually show up and scare off the dogs.
Yeah, you're lucky the guy wasn't alive anymore.
It's like, jeez, man, brutal.
I don't know if it was World War I or World War II, but there was a conflict where the Western powers and the Eastern powers had to make peace, and they worked together temporarily to fight off entire, like an army of wolves that had formed. Because
that sounds like a World War I problem.
Yeah. They had to make temporary peace to fight off wolves. They're like, our world war needs to pause because we have wolves attacking us so much. Because
this definitely sounds like a World War I problem.
Yeah. And then there's the more wholesome stories where they made peace to have Christmas. But
and played football. Gay kind, the European kind.
Where they're like, even the commanders are like, let's just go say hi. Like, I wonder what they're up to, over there on the other side of that trench. It's getting kind of lonely over here. I could use something other than these guys. Like,
that makes it
cool
sound
to talk
different.
to an American.
It's getting pretty lonely over here.
In this trench. How's your trench? Yeah.
How's your trench? AC 2025.
Yeah. How's your trench? Gotta protect.
A lot of men been in that trench.
Yeah, it's
true.
A lot of bodies.
Christ.
High body count. In that trench.
Another scene talking about the wolves and stuff is the one nice guy who questions the commander. The commander has his men tie this guy to rocks. And I was like, oh, geez, they're just going to tie him to rock and just leave him there for the wolves or whoever. Maybe he'll just die in the heat. No. They take it a step further. And he takes a grenade, pulls out the pin, and tucks it behind this guy's head. So not only is he strung up to these rocks, he cannot move his head or else this grenade's going to fall and he's going to blow himself up. Yeah. And of course, as he's sitting there on these rocks, unable to move or do anything or else he'll set off this grenade, the wolves show up. And this was the scene where I thought for sure, because of the tone of the movie, I thought they were going to cut away, you'd hear an explosion, the dogs would run away with a leg in their mouth or something. No, he turns and the grenade happens to fall down beneath the rocks at an angle where the explosive percussion of it didn't hit him but took out the wolves. Yeah. And so he was actually spared.
80s
and then,
but in a good way.
Justin's like, this is a movie.
Yeah, because I was like, great, they're going to kill this guy, he's the only guy I kind of liked. I was like, he's dead. And now we're okay, now who's going to die next? And then they say him, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then the women come and they want to stone him, and then he ends up getting saved because of one of the 3 principles they talk about. I can't remember the third one. It was sanctuary, revenge, What was the third one that they said? Like the 3 codes that they live by.
Oh, Sanctuary. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It was Sanctuary, Revenge, and something else. And by just asking for Sanctuary, I'm like, does this work? Is that actually a thing that happened in these wars? Where you could just be like, hey, Nanawete.
Now, but
Right.
Parlay.
Also, and you said it's not gay if it's German. Being German does not preclude it from being gay as well. It is very capable of being both things.
It's pretty intense how Germans can simultaneously be intimidating from the harshness of their language, but then also jolly and effeminate at times, with their hedonism. I guess. I don't know.
I don't think I know any actual Germans, only people of German descent. But
chocolate and sausage. I love my German ancestry. My dad's name is Prinzing, so I can say all this. These are my words.
Hey, Jersey, we're just talking about German and sausage. How are you doing?
Yeah, Jersey. You like chocolate?
Chocolate. Wait, that's more French. My bad. That's also gay. But
yeah.
But yeah, any other things about this film? The score was fun. I liked the acting was good. Camera was cinematography was surprisingly well done. Pacing, it did not feel like an almost 2-hour film to me, and that it was not a quick-paced film, but it was well-paced. Justin, all right, continue.
I agree with that.
I thought it felt. Anytime a movie hits 2 hours, I'm like, we probably could have knocked 20 minutes out of this thing at least.
You know what, Justin? You're like one of those people who's like, why would you have description in a book?
Well, that was actually something that popped up where they were talking about how much detail you need to go into with world building and things of that nature. I don't know. To me, the story, I don't know that you need a full 2 hours to do everything it did. I kind of got the point, and there's a couple moments like the helicopter shows up. I was like, oh, helicopter. They're not going to go with the helicopter guys because the commander's going to say you're not allowed to. And that scene was like 7 minutes, and I figured out in the first 30 seconds where it was heading. So I'm like, could have probably sped that up a little bit, that sort of stuff. I'm just like, let's just get to let's see how the conflict is resolved. Instead, there's like more infighting. I'm like, kind of over that. This guy's doing his thing now. They're talking about strategy. He's digging in the dirt. The tank does this. He's like, what does the tank do? He's like, the tank does this. I'm like, as the viewer, I know what was happening. He could have just explained it once. I don't know if they're trying to capture the fact that they didn't understand each other, which was already established. There's scenes like that I felt like could have been hacked up a little bit. So
don't listen to him, everyone. He says the same thing about bedroom play.
It wasn't slow, but it was a little.
Seconds, I saw where it was going. I knew what was going to happen.
It wasn't slow, but it felt a little long. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the movie itself, I guess it's people rave about it being a realistic depiction of battle. I don't know. It felt like it's a movie. It's a movie depiction of battle. It's not like you're just in the tank the whole time. Because there's even scenes where there's an explosion that happens, and if you're in the tank, I'd be like, where did that explosion come from? We heard it. What was it? How close was it? But as the viewer, you're like, oh, that rocket was nowhere near that tank. There's stuff like that. So, I think they say it's realistic just because some of the violence in it is pretty unfiltered.
I think.
Now, one thing that I did like about this movie is, and one of my biggest problems with the original Top Gun, you show me jets, I want jets. I want jets for 90% of the film. And in Top Gun, you get jets for about 10-15% of the film, and there's only one jet battle. This movie, if you want to see a tank, you're going to see a tank for almost 2 hours, which I'm like, hey, that's what I'm here. I'm here for a tank. Show me a tank. So
show me a tank.
Yeah, show me a tank. Don't tell me there's a tank in it, and then it's like the Assassin's Creed movie we talked about last week, where I'm like, yeah, the trailer's all them, jumping up buildings, doing the noise from the games. They're having sword fights and all that, but it was only the last 20 minutes of the movie. The rest of the movie is like them talking about, I don't know, who cares. So I like that this delivered on the promise of tank.
Thank you for disparaging Top Gun that way. You've brought out emo kahuna. Thank you, Justin. This is your
yes, Top Gun, you can watch like the first 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes, and then just get like a highlight reel of the in between, and you're good. I will say the story in this movie, it was crafted in an interesting way in terms of the relationship between the characters and the similarities in the motives and things like that. So as far as a war movie can go, where everything's bad, but some guys are kind of good even though they're bad, and bad things happen, and even the way it ends, I'm like, Yeah, that's probably
Like,
what would
is there a
happen.
good side, is there a good side or a bad side, or just different sides?
Yeah, it's just in this case, in this type of battle where there wasn't really a good reason for the war, everything sucks, and this is 2 hours of you experiencing how kind of everything sucks, even if you try to make it not suck. So it did a good job with that.
Guys, word of the day on the Iron Seas is suck.
Yeah.
Suck.
Oh, I thought it was
R.J. William. Welcome to the show. We're talking about tanks and women and how fast movies should go and how fast we should go in the bedroom. How are you doing?
And riddle me this: they have the Afghani guys are speaking whatever language it was. I don't know. I'm not familiar
Arabic?
with the language. I don't know. It might have been. I'm not. I haven't heard it enough to be like that's accurate. Like they could be speaking some other language, and I would have no idea. But the Russian guys, what language were the Russian guys speaking? English. Okay, I understand that. As a viewer, I don't want to be reading subtitles the whole movie. But why not give them a Russian accent? They gave the Afghani guy speaking English an Afghani accent, but all the Russian guys just sound like Americans, and it was like, wait, what?
Actually,
that was kind of weird.
They could have really effed with us, given the Russian guys the Islamic accents and given the Islamic
or
Russian
hear me out. They give all of the Russian guys in it a really terrible lisp the whole movie.
Shoots them, yes.
That stuff can explode.
Based.
Put them on the tracks.
It's the cook-off. We're having a cook-off.
You don't
apparently
orders.
Apparently, too, whenever shell misfires like that, the term is not cook-off, and if you have that situation, the safest place to be is in the tank for some reason. So them, like, jumping out and running and diving over each other was not what you would do. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you started thinking about all the when you heard it was realistic. I bet you were watching for all the unrealistic stuff, weren't you? Let's see how realistic this bad boy is.
Oh yeah, like if you're coming at me and be like, dude, so realistic, it's so realistic, more realistic. I'm like, okay, all right. Let's see what you got here. And they did some things I guess were realistic, but I don't know. Anyways,
it was more
I think
realistic than the A Game 2011. Where they used a tank shooting towards the ground to slow their descent after falling out of an airplane.
I think
that sounds pretty. That sounds pretty cool, though. I don't know. I've never done it.
Be fun.
Wait, do we have a physicist? Does that work? Will that slow your tank fall?
I think it would cause you to flip before it would actually slow you.
Well, free fall. Hold on. Free fall is the same rate of speed, but I believe your weight actually does matter, because that's that much weight.
What if the barrel of the tank was like equally as large as the tank? Then if it fired, would it offset it if the weight of the projectile was equivalent to the tank itself? Like if a tank could launch another tank out of its barrel?
It sounds like a Demolition Ranch video that never happened.
Dude, that'd be horrifying. Dude, that tank is shooting tanks. Like, it just launches the whole thing at you. Never mind. A regular tank round.
Also, at the beginning of this movie, the guy with the rocket propelled grenade up above the village, he's like, I got the tank! Fuck, I did not get the tank! Run!
Oh, yes. Yeah, towards the end, the Russian dude that switches sides and goes for a badal. He tries to get revenge, so he launches the RPG.
In the very, very beginning.
Oh. I thought he just missed completely.
When the tank first gets to the village, there's enough dust, it looks like he hit it.
Oh, yes, okay.
And then the tank stops and starts turning towards him. He's like...
Yeah, I was thinking of the scene towards the end whenever he launches the rocket and he hits the tank, just the barrel, and the barrel does that cartoon, like, it's like splayed open like that. Yeah, looks like a smashed banana peel or something. But anyways, I think I know where you guys are going with this, but, what are your thoughts? Does it sink? Does it float? Anything else?
Real quick, did either of you ever get stuffed into giant artillery barrels at old military bases when you were children, or was that just me?
Ooh,
that was just you, and what? What?
Wait,
were you raised on a military base?
No.
My dad brought me to one, and I got to see artillery get fired.
No. This is old. Like there were all of these military bases on the West Coast that were made during World War II and abandoned because we were worried about a Japanese or Axis powers invasion, and so they made all of these military bases that basically had to get abandoned because there were too many of them. And some of them still have the old artillery pieces. Some of them are are large enough to hold a smaller child. Therefore, you crawl in and get a picture with your head sticking out of a 18-foot gun barrel, and it's a good day. It's a good day for everyone. I thought this was a universal thing almost.
No, there is missile silos 280 all over the country or something though. It sounds sort of similar to this. I actually had friends that went and toured one recently for his birthday, and
that's kind of cool. I would do that.
Yeah, he went. I didn't end up going. It was too busy, but it was that they don't have everything there, but they have some replica stuff just so you have things interact with when they're doing the history tour and whatever. And he got
scale he got the system. Yeah.
He got pictures of himself hugging a shell, a fake, shell kind of thing. He wasn't inside of them, but it sounds kind of like a similar deal.
Except I think the difference was these are all abandoned, and some of these bases have 5 foot wide, 7.5 foot tall iron doors that are an inch and a half thick. Ooh. And you can open them and go inside and pretend lock your buddy in a cage if you bring your own lock. It's a good time, dude.
Jeez. And just feed him Skittles under the door.
I'm if people didn't know this was here, this could be a good place for crime. Oh, we had some.
All right, The Beast. How we feeling?
Like a beast.
Bloat?
Yeah.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Yeah.
Every day. No, overall, float. I was not knowing anything, having zero expectation going into this film. Very surprised. Really disappointed in the American public for not making this a hit. It deserved to be a hit.
All right, here's my take on it. So this is a movie that I never want to see again. I wouldn't recommend it to people. I didn't enjoy it, but it floats. So take that as you will.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
I would like to see what our ratio is. I feel like we usually get floaters, which is nice. I don't think we've sunk too many.
I think we get more floaters than non-floaters because people usually want to talk about their favorite
films, not just shit.
I was gonna say, even when we picked a bad film, it still did okay.
I know. We all talked and agreed Highlander maybe didn't deserve the float.
I was talking about Bright. I was not talking about Highlander.
Also, Bright was not. I think part of it has to do with expectations, because I remembered liking Highlander as a kid and watching it as an adult. I'm like, this is a bad,
amazing masterpiece. S tier. Go to.
There are things I like, but this is overall a bad film. And then Bright, I'm like, this movie is garbage. And then I watch it, I'm like, it's not that bad.
Huh. Interesting. There's got to be a name for that phenomenon whenever the expectations get flipped. I heard that.
Also, can we check on your wife? We just stuffed ourselves into big dryers at the laundromat and spun each other. What? I've never fit in the laundry. Outside of infancy, I've never fit in one of those. Also, are you okay?
I don't think she means at this moment. I think she means at some point in the past.
I figured not at this moment, but yeah. No, Bright is not good. But Highlander also is not good. It has things I like, but it is not. It's cringe, and it's kind of boring for big portions, and the fights are shit. I'll say that. The fights are mostly shit in Highlander. I'm sorry. Not enough style to overcome the lack of substance in the fights. It's like Star Wars Episode 4 level fights, except maybe slightly less better filmed.
But did Star Wars have Queen in the background? And did it have not Jean-Claude Van Damme? I'm too tired to think of the name. Sean Connery. Did it have Sean Connery playing a Spaniard? Did it? I don't think it did.
With a Japanese sword that's not actually Japanese.
That's right.
And it turns out he's also actually Egyptian in this film for some reason.
I fell into the wood.
He speaks with his normal Scottish accent. He is called the Spaniard, and he is in fact Egyptian.
Yes, it's whenever he was on set, they're like, "Hey, Sean, nice to meet you. We have your outfit right here." He's like, "No, I don't think so. Where's the wardrobe?" And he just walked in, and just picked out crap, and just came back. I was like, "This is what I'm wearing." It's like, "All right, Sean, you got it. You're the man."
Now, guys, don't get like. I like the idea of like I'm getting cooked in the I knew I would every time I. Rewatch the fights again. There were other fantasy films from that era with better fights, especially sword fights.
Wait, which ones? I want to watch those too.
Well, Princess Bride for one, but that's obvious. That's a real obvious one. But like,
I don't remember sword fights in that. There's sword fights in that movie.
I will kill you. No.
No, I don't remember. Were there 80 sparks going everywhere? Maybe a giant neon sign exploding? Was there rain? Was Queen playing?
Queen deserved a better film.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll say it. I'll say it. Also, the main actor not being able to speak was kind of not. I wasn't a fan, man. The guy couldn't talk. I don't know what happened.
It adds to the charm because he's like,
It's
"Oh
like
no, he's trying to cut off my head," or however he talks. Oh, hi, Mark.
Imagine
Fantastic.
casting that man, a man who's obviously a short bus enthusiast as a child, who never learned to speak his native language, pretended to be able to speak English, got taken out of a mental hospital for violent crimes, and then placed in this movie. Look at that man's face. He has hurt somebody for no reason. You know it. Look at that man's face. Look at that actor's face and tell me he hasn't strangled puppies and slapped old women on the street.
Oh, jeez.
That's what it looks like.
He constantly looks like a leech just attached itself to his rectum while he was having one of the worst bathroom situations of his life. That's a very specific expression, but tell me that's not what it is. Tell me that I'm wrong.
I don't even understand
You're
that
not.
scenario. All right, you get one. You're not. There you go.
I know
All right.
nobody's going to agree with me in these comments, but I think
I'll
you
tell
guys
you what,
all
though.
have rose-tinted glasses with this one, and I watched this as
Rose-tinted
a child.
glances.
Glances.
Okay, so when it comes to swords, you're not a fan of Highlander, but what if there was like a dinosaur with a sword? Would that be better?
It might be. It might be. In fact, you guys talk about something, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only one way to find out. Apparently, there's a game
Only
where
one
dinosaurs
way to
have
find
swords.
out.
There you go.
Let's name him. I want
My
to
name
name
is
him.
Hank Mater.
Tankmater. I don't even know what to call that. I don't have anything clever off the top of my head.
Well, tank seems obvious, right? Right.
It's tank with a C at the end instead of a K.
With a Q. Tank with a Q.
With a Q.
Tank.
Tonk?
He's
Tonk.
Tonka.
Tonk.
Tonka.
Kaput. His name could also be Kaput.
My name is Elliot Tank Mater.
Tank nigger.
Mm-hmm.
No way. Here it is. Yeah, hold on.
You got it? Yeah, share that.
I think
Share
this
that.
one even has sound. Like, he actually has finished the animation on some of this, so hold on. It's only 22 seconds. Hold on. Let me see. I hope it's good. It looks fun. It looks fun. Maybe. Go full screen. Play.
I'm already sold.
Doesn't this look incredible? Yeah! Get it, boy! Yes,
The sa- The music. Is this music in the game too, or did you add this, AC?
No,
think
I
this is-
Dino Blade. Wishlist on Steam. Dude,
Oh, it was
that
actually in the trailer. All right, I'm interested. It's not going to come to console, but I don't like the font they use for wishlist on Steam. It's like a stock.
No,
font. I don't
that's
understand
like
but-
a basic bit. That's one I have on my intro.
Yeah, it's like Algerian. It bothers me when I see it, or papyrus. Like when I see it, it's just like
Algerian?
yeah, Algerian. That font, I guarantee you've seen it. It's everywhere.
I'm
It's a
sure I
nice
have.
looking font, but it's just it's done to death. It again, it's like papyrus from the 2000s, where it was on every
Yeah.
like hole in the wall restaurant menu. I'm like, you guys know there's more than like 4 fonts out there that look nice, right? So.
Yeah, pretty much, man. No, this thing look. Yeah, I've been following the development for like a year and a half, maybe. Yeah, game of the year already. I'm loving these comments. I love that this was a meme and now it's a full-on game. Blades are cool, dinosaurs are cool. Oh, and what happens when you combine them?
I like
Hey.
that the
Yeah,
lady
great.
on the far right down here thumbnail is that Anya Joy is going.
Yeah.
So when's this game coming out?
I don't know. It's on. Put it on your wish list on Steam, I guess. But
Oh, it looks like it is coming to PS5, so I can play that
Oh,
one.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
no way, dude.
Because remember, PCs are for work.
Also, Anne saying, I always thought that Highlander show was really for women, and Xena and Buffy was really for dudes. That might be fair. Was Hercules for men or women? I'm guessing maybe both a little bit. Like that old Hercules show, you guys remember that?
Yeah, with Sorbo.
Yeah.
I never really watched much of that. I never saw much of Xena either. Is Xena actually any good? Like, if you go back and watch it, or is it a product of the time in a bad way? Or is it actually like, no, it's pretty good?
A little of both. A little of both.
She was dragging a wagon. I don't remember anything else. I was very young.
Is that a phrase that means something other than actually, pulling a radio flyer behind her?
I'm going to have to add that into the flash fiction.
Dragging a wagon.
Dragging a wagon.
That could be the title of the episode.
Dragging a wagon.
Yeah.
It's a love interest is introduced to either Akua or... It's going to be... Actually, it has to be Bones because Dragging a wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that works, actually. Also, thank you. This is I got this when I saw the Colts with my dad this last year. He and I are going to go see Creed when they come, and a few other bands when they come here to Washington. The best band of all time. Obviously.
Yup. Gotta get
with arms wide open.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. It says here that I guess like closed confined quarters is just like the go-to for tank movies in general. Like that's what Fury is. That's what all of them are, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, which to me, I guess if you're going for like capturing the vibe of being in a tank, but that's like, I don't know. That to me, that's like you watch a movie and a girl goes to bed or wakes up and she's already like her hair's done and she has makeup on. To me, like having the tank be the like hot, sweaty, it sucks to be in a tank. Oh, there's another thing in that movie. That tank model could only have 4-man crew and there's 5 guys. There's no way to make that work. But it's the kind of thing like you don't need to show me that. I don't care if it's realistic. Just put something cool on screen or something that's fun to look at. In which case, if you're making a tank movie, the way you make a tank movie is they could have like 5 tanks on either side. You could do it like almost Transformers, where each tank is kind of unique and the personality of the people on board are unique. And it's just about them blowing up stuff and shooting tank, projectiles and taking things down. That's what I want to see whenever I think tanks. I don't want to see, you got to wax the inside or else, there won't be enough lubrication on the tire and it might get hot. Like, I'm like, I don't care about that, man. I just want to see the thing blow up stuff.
Mechanic movies.
Yeah.
No, and I see what
mechanic
you're saying.
movies, super exciting.
There's a really cool scene in Fury where it's like the tanks like joust a little bit. Like they're like it's really intense. They have to like adjust it and they're shooting across the field at each other while they're moving and it's
that sounds awesome. That's what I want to see. That's like I don't want to see a supermodel like flossing. Does the supermodel actually floss? Probably. I don't want to see that on screen though.
And just like you said, you're like I want to see like 5 tanks on each side. Like they're literally it was like one well-made German tank versus 5 American tanks, and one by one like all the American tanks just got taken down until Fury was the last one. Yeah, that's a good scene, man.
Imagine if the Earth that they are driving upon, imagine if it moves like the ocean. So now it's basically just a pirate battleship battle going on, but tanks instead of man-of-war. What if you had a man-of-war style tank? Like it's like a boat, but it's a tank. And it's got like 1,000 guns on the side, and they get side by side.
Cool.
Dude, we need that.
You mean like cannons on a boat?
Yes, like boats, but land boats.
You're like, what if boats had something like a tank? I'm like, you mean like a cannon that tanks also possess?
Go on.
This is one shirt I'm considering getting for my dad.
Oh, that's an automatic buy, but probably the wrong size for a guy.
Wrong size for sure. But and then this is the other one here. Yeah.
I hope it's the same shirt, but Nick Cage is wearing sunglasses or something.
That would be funny. No. One more, AC. One more.
Rat Patrol. I never saw Rat Patrol. I'm aware of it though because of Metal Gear 4. They talk about Rat Patrol 01, and it was a reference to that movie. Jeeps, blip tanks all the time. It was a blast. All right, marking that one down. Rat Patrol.
I've never seen Rat Patrol.
It's got an exclamation at the end. I appreciate that as well.
Also, the Battle of the Bulge is a great film, and I will never not slightly giggle every time I hear that name.
It is kind of fun.
It's one of those, dude.
Now imagine if it had the exclamation point at the end. Yeah, take another drink and then think about the battle.
3 X's at the end. What movie are we watching? Oh, you remember that? Remember that movie, Triple X?
I never saw it. That was Vin Diesel, right?
Yeah, dude, that movie is primo action. But it like if you like realistic films that make any kind of sense, it's not for you.
Not primo, primo. It's a step up.
Primo.
Wait, Rat Patrol.
No.
It was a film, right? I can only find it. Oh wait, there we go. 1966.
It's a show, is what Ann is saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. That I couldn't
Fun
find the
for
movie.
whole family. Wow. Rat Patrol.
That dude's got a jaw for days. He does. You should look that fella. He's
the
like,
kind of jaw that makes me want to go home.
I can't even. I need to like. He reminds me of somebody too. TV show 2 seasons, not in color. Really? For being from the 60s, not in color. That's surprising.
In
like
living
was
color.
Starting to get big around then.
I'm not positive. I've watched the entirety of a show that's in black and white.
Really?
I've seen episodes of shows that are in black and white, but not the entire show in black and white. Because even a lot of older shows that have black and white like seasons moved into color as time went forward.
Yes. Or they had the recolorizations versions.
Yeah.
The only one I could recommend for sure, it's a bit more of an investment because I think it's like 5 or 6 seasons, but I Love Lucy. That show still holds up.
That show's pretty good. The chemistry, the writing, it's fun. It's kind of like the pre-sitcom, before sitcoms were really a thing.
Well, it was the first one to do the 3-camera shoot, and that was something that Desi Arnaz like fought for to make it happen. So him and Lucy, who were married in real life too, they pioneered all that stuff. But yeah, so when you watch it, it feels not modern, but it holds up really well because that 3-camera shoot is something that stood the test of time for forever until shows like maybe The Office came along and sort of started doing that handheld style. But
the handheld style works, but it was kind of a gimmick. Not every show needed it. It worked for like Parks and Recreation and The Office.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's kind of hit or miss, but yeah.
I think Modern Family had kind of that vibe too, where they had like the quick zoom-ins when somebody's talking and then zoom in and zoom out. It had almost that kind of vibe to it.
Modern Family's weird. I like sometimes I'll find a clip that's funny, but I never could sit down for like an entire episode.
Me neither. I've never watched it. It reminded me of like 2.5 Men, where I'd see like a clip. I'm like, that was kind of funny, but to actually watch 20 minutes of it, I'm like,
It's like I actually have to care about these people, and I just don't think I do.
Yeah.
You remember? Did you ever see the I Love Lucy episode with Arnold, young Arnold, when like one of the first roles he got when he
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. One of the last episodes of the show, and one of the first things he ever did, like first TV movie things he ever did. Very young Arnold.
It must be. It must not be I Love Lucy. It must be something else.
Maybe it's a different. It's same actress, but maybe it's a different. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, because she had a couple shows after that. They were never as good because the chemistry was off. She had the one. I think it was called the Lucy Hour, and it had I can't remember the actress who plays Ethel. She was in it, but Fred wasn't there, and Ricky wasn't there. I don't know if they were separated at that point or if he was deceased by then or what. But it just didn't have the same. It's fine, but it's not like the other one.
Maybe it might have been one of the other ones. I think Ethel was in it, but it's funny. He's like this is in the like peak bodybuilding Arnold and very very young. So he shows up. He is the pool boy, and it's just pure comedy because he looks how he looks, and it's obnoxious compared to normal people.
So if you guys, whenever we're ready for the next thing, if you guys want to design a tank in a sci-fi fantasy setting, I'd be curious to hear it, because I actually have a tank in one of my stories that's published right now. Even it's more of a fortress. I imagine because like tanks originally. It's funny that you said if only they had a bunch of cannons on the side and were more like ships, but on the land. That's literally how they wanted them to be, but they just evolved their own way, through necessity with like trench warfare and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, that was the original idea. Was just a giant moving ship, but on land.
On land.
With a wall of cannons. Yeah. And so like mine is basically just a big fortress. It has one big cannon, probably a bunch of little guns mounted to it. But the one big cannon is like powered by the magic MacGuffin, and it.
I was gonna say, if you have magic in the world, it gives you a lot more freedom with how you design certain more mechanical like creations within your world. Yeah. Also, Jersey said remember that if there was no I Love Lucy, there would be no Star Trek. Well, evil things can come from good. We see this with kids all the time. It's okay. I'll forgive I Love Lucy for that.
Yes. Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
He never actually says that in that show at any point.
Yeah, it's a Mandela effect.
Yeah.
It's a Mandela effect, buddy.
Just like life is like a box of chocolates.
It sounds like something he would say, though.
It's very close, but he never says it that exact way. There's a handful of phrases like that where the way we say them doesn't match up. And that one, I was certain, because that show's on loop basically nightly here. And I'm like, I swear I've heard that. And then I did the research. I'm like, no, it's not there. Not there. You get close.
I have to give Tank Ferret another shout out. Our guest, he really actually nailed it with this movie. We were a little nervous because of the box office numbers and
like we've never heard of this film. What is this? Is this like an indie thing?
Yeah. But like I'm like I've been looking over here at some stuff behind the scenes about just tanks in general, some topics I had ahead of time, and like the movie, it really is like, I mean, unless you're gonna pick like Fury, but Fury doesn't even line up with a lot of this stuff. Fury is like one of the other go-tos that that the internet points to. But I
don't think there's really that many tank movies.
Yep, same thing with jet movies. Same problem. There's like very, very slim pickings. Maybe there's 4 or 5 or movies that have a tank or have a jet, but to be focused on that, there's very few.
Yeah, it covers all the bases. Though, is my point.
Film. Was that?
No.
Clint Eastwood has a film called Firefox, and it.
Oh, cool.
I'm glad I watched it. I won't watch it again.
It's about a browser on the internet,
and that is a jet film. They had to come up with really creative filming techniques, and I appreciate the craft and some of the acting, but that is a long film, man. You strap in for that one. It's a little.
But if it's like 2 hours of jets doing jet stuff, I'd be all about it. I'd be like, yeah, blow up another base.
It's like half spy stuff. That's not super good.
They made 2 of them.
They made Firefox too?
Yeah, Clint's not in the second one. The poster's sick though, dude. That's a good looking poster. The Japanese version.
The posters were hot. Yeah, they were just good. Yeah.
Never heard of it. But yeah, jet movies, same as tank movies, same problem. It's a really cool thing that looks great on the screen, and not a lot of movies that take advantage of that. Yeah, that was like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, what I was saying is it basically just exemplifies tank movies as a genre in one movie. Really, it kind of does. I was like looking through the list of stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, this movie really had all of this stuff. Whereas like, Fury, I like that movie. So I was like trying to think, and I think there was a few things on the list that Fury didn't even have. So I was like, huh, somebody named Tank Ferret would pick the perfect movie. That's all.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. Someone said something too. What did someone say? No one said anything. Never mind. But no, it like even older military films, like I'll watch and appreciate, but I just won't rewatch them very often if they're not. I even like slow burn films, unlike our vaunted co-host Justin here. But like Green Beret, you don't need to watch that movie too many times. But Green Beret is a good war film. It looks more at the effects of war than the actual combat. But it's like John Wayne, he's older and he's a current, does a great job. It's a great film.
We can't talk about war without doing this.
Yeah, I feel like that's true of most war movies because war is a pretty, it's not a fun, cool, good thing. So there are some where they have heroes that are depicted, and I bet the older movies are probably a little bit easier to go back to. But most of the newer ones, once the special effects and the movie making got a lot closer to reality, like Saving Private Ryan,
I enjoy
it's intense, man. I don't know if I ever want to watch that again. It's like I've seen it a couple times, and each time I watch them, like this is like hard to watch, which is the point, but it doesn't make you want to go back.
But the fact that it's not a true story when there are so many cool true stories, it kind of gives me pause. Like it's a good story, but it's also like there are so many true stories that are unbelievable, and that's like I like We Were Soldiers based on a true story, Hacksaw Ridge based on a true story.
Still need to see that one.
That's one of the best films ever made.
That's what I've heard from people, and I'm like, on paper, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this, but I've heard enough people say that it's good that next time it's at Goodwill, I'm gonna pick it up.
I'll give one to you. He's okay, she's okay, he gets the girl, and it's good.
Wait, what? Is that the name of a movie?
No, I'm just telling you about that movie. You will watch it. I'll set your mind at ease about a couple of key ingredients.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I figured because I usually if a movie is good but the bad guy doesn't win, they're usually like, it's such a good movie, but it's sad, but it's such a good movie. I'm like, oh, okay, so somebody I like dies or something bad happens to them, and usually people just say that's such a good movie, and that's it. I'm like, oh, all right, I guess it must turn out okay. Which that'll make it a little better.
It's a war movie.
Yeah.
A very
real
violent
quick, we got
conflict.
a couple of super chats.
Hey.
We got some super duper chats up in here. Yes.
From
Slay.
Catherine
for the memes.
Catherine Pritchard. She says 99 cents, and then tip your seaman. Woo.
Woo.
And then Jersey says for the memes, $2, couple of bucks. Thanks, Jersey.
For the memes.
Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you,
it. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Spend $2 on memes. Go, everybody. Go. Do it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we need a $2 meme. Let's see. I gotta find that. Find a meme.
As you're digging, there's a lot of other movies. It's the same kind of thing. Like Schindler's List, I've never seen the entire movie.
That's a hard
It's just
movie
like
to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of these movies, just because of what they deal with, I'm like, how much? Like, how do I really want to stare into the void? Like I'm like, just give me a glimpse. Let me.
As
I already
a
have
Red Rising enjoyer, yes, a little bit.
I already understand. Like, do I really have to experience all of it, kind of thing? So I never finished that one. Full Metal Jacket was the same kind of thing. It's like I've seen most of it, but I got to a certain point. I'm like, I get it. I've seen enough. That kind of thing.
I also used to rewatch Passion of the Christ every year on Easter.
I still haven't seen that. I'm like, everybody I know is like, you should watch it once.
Kind of a downer.
Kind of a downer. That's what I heard. Yeah, kind of a downer.
And Evely, you missed the opportunity to say tank movies because you were like, tank movies are kind of, like, and then you moved on. I was like, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was like, don't make me tap the sign because I have a clip for tapping the sign. Yeah. It's
funny. I stole that from you. I just love it so much because that's your phrase, but I love it. Oh, look.
Dude, that's a bent barrel. That's a bad. Who did this? This is a bad day for somebody.
You know what's crazy? I was driving to my brother's house about 8 months ago, and I'm sitting at close. Not that day. I'm sitting at the traffic light, this intersection, and I'm waiting, and the light's like 9 minutes too long. And I kid you not, down the road, like maybe a quarter of a mile, flipped on top of its face with its butt up in the air. So face and like the upside down, the face of the vehicle like that, and the butt up in the air. If you can picture that, and it was a mail truck. And I have no idea how the guy did it. I was actually pretty impressed. And it didn't like crunch up the front. It looked totally preserved, but it was just like a giant picked it up and just flipped it over for fun. But its butt was up in the air. It was a mail truck, just like that tank. Thank you.
The tank level in Halo 2 was always one of my not as fun, but it was one of my favorites. Just like, hey, you're already an invincible soldier. Now you're gonna get an invincible tank that will be destroyed at the moment you leave it. But
oh yeah, I remember that old that old, I don't know what to call it, mechanic.
What?
I can't. That game mechanic. It's late. It's hard for me to think on this show a lot of times. I'm like,
It is late. It is late.
Battle tanks. Did you guys ever play that one? I played it on the original PlayStation back in the day. It was also on N64.
Yes, I played too much of it. I played too much of it heavily.
It had split screen co-op campaigns, so you could sit down with your bros or with your brother and just play it for hours. It was a blast, and it's probably awful to go back to.
Modern video game developers, learn something. Sit down, bring back.
That's asking a lot, AC.
I know.
Learn something, anything actually.
I Battlezone, bro. It was so cool. Like war was fought in space to preserve the Earth. We were basically in the process of colonizing all the planets in the solar system, and it was a base builder that was like first person, but instead of actually being a person, you were like in a vehicle, like a tank. And there's different kinds. There's like scouts. There's like harvesters. There's big heavy tanks, light ones, and the Soviets had different ones than us. So like you could. Like each side was completely different. Like you guys were basically doing the same thing, collecting scrap on these planets, and all that. But like the story, I remember the story. They did such a good job at making you care about all the stuff that was going on. And I think it was from like the point of view, like it's almost like you're looking out from one of these tanks. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden the Russians come in and invade your base, and they're blowing your shit up, and you're like, no, my recycler, and. I remember the story was really cool because it was revealed that all the scrap that you're collecting, it's kind of assumed that it's from like past skirmishes between like the Americans and the Russians, and you just kind of come after the fact, set up a new base, start recycling all the material. But you actually come to find out that there's a bunch of alien stuff going on, and the Russians. Oh, stupid Russians! They reverse engineer the alien thing and then lose control of it. So then the end of the game,
as you do.
Yeah. So then the end of the game is the Americans and the Russians teaming up, and you gotta like fight literal aliens, and they move completely different than anything in the game. They just smite you with lightning instead of actually like shooting you and maneuvering normally. And like the whole thing was just, I still have this many fond memories of it. That's how good of a game it was. Battlezone. I believe Battlezone was on 64 as well, but I played it on computer. I think it's different versions there.
And tell us of the movie From Here to Eternity. I've never even heard of it. It looks like a black and white film. Oh, 53. No wonder.
Whoa. Oh, is that with Montgomery Clift?
I don't watch as many.
It is. I don't know who that is. It's on my screen. Hey, Sinatra. There you go. Is that movie with Donna Reed?
Donna Reed?
Donna Reed.
If you could not shoot at the tank, that would be great.
Great. Everyone needs to watch a lot of films here. But half of you think that Highlander is peak film. So I don't know how seriously we should take all of you people. So sorry. Also, I got while we're on hot opinions, I got another one. You guys know how they're like. Are you guys Star Trek fans? AC, Justin?
I've never really watched any of it aside from the new adaptations, which I hear don't count. So I'm fairly unfamiliar.
I'm not a Trekkie, but I do enjoy it.
I enjoy some things sometimes, but most of it I think is boring and about 19 times a little worse than Star Wars. But here we are. No, everybody's favorite Star Trek series is DS9. And you know the first thing they say in praise of DS9? Oh, you're going to love it. It's nothing like Star Trek.
Oh, whatever. It's just like Star Trek. It just has more space battles. That's the only reason anybody likes DS9.
Everyone gets mad when I say this opinion, but I've heard people who like it say this opinion.
There's more space
battles. It's not like Star Trek.
That's it. It's still all the in between all the bricks is still filled with the same Star Trek mortar that everybody's used to, and every season you're just waiting for the big space battle at the end, and then props to them. It's cool. They do good. Star Trek would actually make a really good game in a lot of ways. Just the mechanics of the space battling and stuff.
Can you imagine having to pick what color shirt you're gonna wear and whether you're
red. I want red.
Or not.
Yes. I would.
Oh, that would be actually funny. They could do a story with that too, or Norm like shows back up with a red shirt, like, oh no.
What about a Star Trek light novel where you like it's a dating sim, or you just date all the different alien women?
That is $1 million game. That's $1 million.
I know
game.
it is,
Now,
and I would hate every second of it.
Yes.
Is there any good Star Trek movies like from that time period with Picard and all that? What's the actor's name?
Picard is one of the best eras. So
Professor X. What's that guy's name?
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
That's
Stewart.
the one. I know he had 2 first names.
Oh yeah, he is one of those, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the best, like, if I'm like, I've never watched Star Trek ever, what is the movie I watch to be like, that's the one that you should check out?
Into Darkness, obviously. Anyone who says otherwise is lying to you.
And that's an older one?
No, not an older one.
Oh wait, are you talking about Chris Pine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I'm just trying to piss off all the Star Trek fans.
Yeah, I heard episode 4 is supposed to be pretty good as far as Star Trek goes. I don't know if that's accurate. It's the one with the Force.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking. People are defending
Right.
DS9.
Wrath of Khan. Everybody's yelling Wrath of Khan.
Khan.
Oh, from '82. Oh, that's Willie Shatner, old Bill.
When you say Willie Shatner, that I don't know.
That's why I did it. I've never heard anybody call him Willie Shatner, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna jump on that one.
You're gonna jump on Willie Shatner.
I'm gonna jump on Willie Shatner. If I ever see him, I'm gonna jump right into his arms.
He kisses you lightly on the nose.
One can only hope.
I was going to say the cheek, but that's much more comfortable than someone kissing you on the nose.
Nose is better than like on the eyelid or something. So we'll take it.
That sounds like a miss.
He plays Crick. Who's Crick?
Who's Crick?
No, I'm
What,
kidding.
in Star Trek?
It's Kirk. Never mind.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay,
Christy
yeah.
Alley's in this?
Christy Alley?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it says so.
Also, another hot take, just because all the Trekkies are here. Oh, what was that? The Tim Allen parody was better than any Star Trek film.
Oh, dude, I love that movie. Galaxy
see?
Quest. I love that one.
That's what it's called. That is a
Quest
better
is
film
good.
than any of the
Yeah,
Star
it's got Ripley and Snape.
Sigourney Weaver of Alan
That's
Rickman.
such a good movie.
It's a
I
really,
really want
that
it's a
to
really
win one
funny
week.
movie. Yeah.
Dwight
I
from
want-
the Elvis.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. I watched that as a kid. Never saw Star Trek when I was a kid. I watched that and I thought that was funny. But I didn't get half of the jokes because I've never seen Star Trek. I'm like, is this a
same here.
reference to something or?
I'm a sucker for parody, man. I'll even watch bad parodies and still enjoy them quite a bit. I love parody films, and so ones that are actually
Loaded Weapon.
God, yes. I just watched that like 2 weeks ago. It's still fantastic.
It's so funny, dude.
So parodies like that lean hard into it, I like those. But the ones that also try to be a good movie while poking fun at the things that they love, like a Galaxy Quest, I can really get behind those too. Those are a lot harder to find though than a like Naked Gun. Or
it's
Top
a lot.
Secret.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have you ever seen Top Secret? Val Kilmer?
Yeah. The dance
Dude,
scene.
That might be one of the best parodies ever. Like, I love that film. I'd never heard of it. I saw it for the first time.
Dude,
like,
Hot Shots is
a year
so
ago.
good. Hot Shots
is good.
though.
Hot Shots 2, not quite as good.
Not
Still
as
some moments,
good.
but
It's just not.
I feel like laughs per minute, gags per minute, Top Secret might be number one. And when they meet the Resistance, all the French guys, like all ridiculous. One guy's name is Latrine. It's just like, come on.
I've only seen it one time. I need to rewatch it.
Oh man, one guy jumps on a grenade to protect his friends, and he doesn't blow up, but everybody else does. It's just stupid stuff like that. Or the guy's shattering the glass to shoot his gun out, and he's like, each time he goes to shoot, he breaks a new pane of glass just so he can break them all. It's so good.
Yeah. And they're like playing tic-tac-toe.
In the opening section of it, the song he has is called Skeet Surfing. And it's about shooting skeets while you're surfing. These guys got shotguns in the water. They're surfing and trying to. Oh, it's fantastic. It's so good.
As you do.
It's either that. It's either you watch like the parody films or you watch I mentioned this for Tim Allen earlier, but all of the canon films
Oof.
from the 1980s, every single one of them is horrible, but they're so funny and so awesome at the same time. It's like that's where you get like Commando, Revenge of the Ninja, all these really great, terrible, bad, wonderful films.
I haven't seen Commando yet, but I do own it.
Bill was curious about what movie was shooting the skeet, I believe.
Top secret.
That's top secret with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, he has to dress up as a cow to sneak around. It's awesome. It's so dumb.
What did they do to survive when they were in the river? I can't remember. I remember they had to survive when they were in the river at some. I can't remember what they did. It was something really stupid too.
Oh, that scene's like 5 seconds. I can't remember. When he's underwater and he's swimming around. I don't remember.
But I can't remember. Yeah.
There's so many gags in it. It's awesome. One of my favorites. And as far as parodies go, it's absolutely one of my favorites.
Oh, cripes almighty. Did we have a list of other topics too? Because I didn't read them. Because
we roughly did, but how long do you guys want to go?
I can go all night, baby.
Heck yeah. What about you, Emily?
It's up to you guys.
Well, okay, because just to update everybody listening quick, thanks for listening. We had to redo our Substack and our Discord. We're happy to say our Discord passed up where we were at before we redid it by quite a bit, and it's been pretty active and awesome. So if you guys want to,
we love you participating in the Discord.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do a short every day talking about the music deal or even something else. I'm trying to do a short at least once a day, but I have my channel and this channel, so it's kind of tough. But I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. But part of the thing with redoing the Substack was when I was uploading the backlog, it flagged us as spam or something, and so they openly admit to slowing us down. Like, so
he's like, calm down, sir.
Yeah. That's what I get. I mean, I get it. I uploaded like a bunch of videos, but I mean, I can tweet a bunch, right? But anyway, my whole point. They said that the way to get past that is to build more trust, and part of that is like interaction. You know, how many subs you have, that whole thing. Probably the amount of time that you've been there and stuff. But my whole point is, if you guys want to go check out our Substack, we got weekly flash fiction. I've been making each one into an audiobook. We got Animation Overload making a scene.
Custom art.
Yep, custom art. He does a scene from every single episode.
It's so hot, dude. It's great.
Oh, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I've been having a lot of fun doing it, but it would help us get past the current restriction we have if you go sub. And you know, I also throw everything there in one place so everybody can stay up to date. And of course, I include some like random indie creator stuff when I see it. Like if something seems newsworthy, I will include it in the flash fiction. So yeah, interact with the Discord, interact with the Substack, help us get past the restriction. That's the only thing I needed to make sure was gotten out, because we can only upload things that are under an hour. So basically, we're at the hour and a half mark right now. I'll have to edit this down, which I'm fine to do. I can cut out a lot of like some of the filler stuff and get it down under an hour pretty easily. But if we're kind of around the hour mark going forward, that would be why, until that stuff kind of loosens up a little bit for us. So
yeah. Plus, in the flash fiction, our own stand-in characters are a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
You got Justin as Norm, the best normal guy in a fantasy world. Like if it was a light novel title, it's like I was just a normal like beer drinking, hockey playing dude, and I accidentally like found myself in some fantasy world. I don't know how I got here. That's the title.
Yeah.
Norm isn't a total self-insert. He's only partial. It's kind of a mix of maybe a little bit of me, a little bit of Scott Pilgrim, a little bit of Norm Macdonald, and he's also just like a video game character. So,
yeah.
I don't know. He's fun.
He has hacks. He has hacks.
Yeah, he has his hacks and stuff that are, yeah. It's a fun premise. I think the setup is good. I think the characters and the different personalities work out well. And, I mean, it's limitless in terms of what we can do with the storytelling. So
Mhm.
it's been really good so
according
far.
to the world, it doesn't get it can just keep going if you travel far enough. So I had an idea for an episode where they just find like a total recreation of the United States, like
Mhm.
with one functioning diner, and then brings them to have like a meal there one day. It'd be fun, but anyway.
Yeah,
just ideas. I'd watch that.
I referenced the what was it, the Liberty Colossus in the Lost Land of York, and the
Tower of Eiffel.
yeah, the Tower of Eiffel in the fabled Kingdom of Paris.
The unfinished wall of Shin.
The unfinished wall of Shin. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a deep cut. I like that.
That's a good for the if you get it, you get it. You
Yeah. But anyway, do you guys want to wrap it up here? Go around, chill, and
yeah, man, I'm down. Yeah, and we've also figured out how to connect everything back to the YouTube. That was a frustrating thing.
Yeah,
but like
that
deserves a celebratory woo.
That was a hell of a week. Yeah,
that was a nightmare, dude. Trying to figure that out.
Now just the Twitter.
And by nightmare, I mean wasted time in lots of this. It was very hard. Also this. A lot of that. A lot of like hunch, like.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. If it was the if it was a meme, it would be the conspiracy board from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Not necessarily the whole idea of a conspiracy, but just that look on somebody's face and that amount of stress.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, going forward, I think I'm going to be dusting off the old Pokeballs, so to speak.
Oh yeah. Well, you mentioned playing that. Where do you play it? Because I'd battle you.
Yeah. Anybody.
I'd knock Pokeballs with you.
Well, so I pulled out my Switch, right? And you need a capture card to do any sort of streaming with your Switch.
I don't have a Switch.
And it'd be really fun to go online and fight like people on the Pokemon game and stuff, and watch all the fun animations and stuff. But I mean, you guys know how I am. Like, as soon as I saw that there was emojis in the Discord, they were full like the next day. I was like, oh, I could do this, and not only that, I couldn't even fit all the ones I wanted to do, and they give us 40. So I was like going ham on that. So it's the same with Pokemon, and I'm starting to suspect that I know where it comes from. Childhood of playing Pokemon. But yeah, I got a million teams that I could just always be going through. I know enough about competitive where I don't need to get super sweaty about it, but I can be entertaining in the fact where I'm just like having fun. Like I think a graphic I put together recently was just my whole team was dogs, you know, and that might be like the first episode I stream. Thinking about doing something like that. And you know, for those of you in the Discord, hop in the game chat. Me and Evely kind of talk about game news and random game stuff there, but that would be where you would challenge me to a Pokemon battle or a Magic the Gathering battle or whatever, or Evely or Kahuna to.
We should also have an episode where we invite the entire chat or anyone who wants to come on and do Gartic Phone, which is a bunch of like interaction games like where we pick words or we do drawings and we like ad lib stuff as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun, like a lot of streamers like that kind of thing, and it's something you can even do on mobile, so it's really easy. But
yeah, that kind of stuff. But
also, speaking of Pokemon, do you know about Vaporeon?
What about Vaporeon?
According to the original file on it in the original Pokemon games, it said it was the most physically compatible with people.
Oh,
and that's on
I do know about
that we have.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? No.
There's other implications too. Like, there's a whole category called human shape Pokemon. Like, Mr. Mime is creepy. Jinx is creepy.
Gardevoir.
That's a whole dark creepypasta area of Pokemon that I don't really touch. I don't really like the food looking ones either.
Oh, I saw that too.
I'm very specific with like Lucario barely gets the cut. He's a little bit too anthropomorphized for my
Kick Lee is just Bruce Lee.
Kick.
Kick Lee, literally Bruce Lee.
Oh no, yeah, Hitmonlee or whatever. Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee is 100% Bruce Lee.
No. It's Kick. It's Kick. I need to look it up, but it was Hitmonchan, and that's Jackie Chan. Obviously.
Jackie Chan, yep. And then Hitmonlee is Bruce Lee. That's 100%.
Yes.
That's 100% the lore. Fact.
Oh yeah, it's all one word. That's why I was getting it mixed up.
Yeah, but still, like, it could be like Kick McGee as the name or whatever.
It's Kick McGee.
Yeah.
But the problem with Pokemon is they have to say their name, or at least part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine Kick McGee.
It gets my son's attention. It's one of the few things that, like, and I see the value in it now, actually, as an adult too. I'm like, okay, this is a bunch of characters. When, like, familiar characters that he likes pops back up, it'll make him excited, you know, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's cool for a little boy because there's, like, battling and, you know, adventuring around and stuff like that.
Are you talking about the show or the game?
Yeah. I tossed one of the movies on for him yesterday.
Yeah, my kids love it, and like Pokemon, it's one of those things. It's like it's never like peak cinema, but it's always good. It's never like unwatchable. It's always like just fun, cutesy, positive storytelling and adventures for kids. And
right,
like I love that I can toss on any of the new Pokemon shows that I've seen and any of the old ones. And I'm completely comfortable letting my kids watch it. No worries.
Yeah,
no worries about weird messaging. No worries about bad stuff in it for kids. I'm like, these are just good. It's wholesome.
If I'm gonna be super real right now, so they do get like kind of like androgynous and stuff like that with like the character design in some ways. But at the end of the day, this show comes from Japan, and that being said, men are men and women are women. And,
except for the Chinese, because they're not people. Sorry about that.
And the Ruskies, them too. Yeah. But yeah, it's exactly what you said. There's no worries. There's no weird messaging. Some character designs are weird, but at the end of the day, you can't really knock it too much because all the characters, all they're guilty of is like looking weird, maybe behaving a little odd, but it's a cartoon, so it's like. I don't know.
There's a bit more leeway there.
Yeah. It's not like.
And it didn't come across as intentional either.
Yeah,
so.
Oh right. Like I said, it comes from Japan. Like, a lot of the stuff is even coming full circle. Like, you know.
A lot of Japanese designs are a little like a lot of Japanese men in certain age anime look very feminine, and that's just.
And they always have.
Just a thing. Always have.
Yeah. And like the colored hair, right? That started off as like a technique in comics and manga in general, like comics, like Western.
We need to draw attention to our main character. What if we give him spiky hair? Very good. Moving
why
on.
Do all these humans?
What if there was a primary color?
Why do all these humans look the same in my story? You know, how do I make them look different? Like, yeah, exactly. And then it comes full circle because then like culture emulated that, and then then you know it got pushed through.
And then
things
the boy
like,
band started doing it.
Yep. It got pushed through things like the scene. Everly knows the scene kids and the scene girls and stuff like that from like 2010 or whatever, whenever that was. So it got forced through that, and then now it's full circle where like Pokemon is like designing characters based off of like the idea of crazy streamers like Pokimane and these other ones that are just super flamboyant and like kind of ditzy. It's kind of weird seeing it go full circle like that, where like it starts off because of this, gets pushed all the way through culture to the other side, and then Japan picks it up again and starts designing characters kind of around it. It's so odd. It's so odd, but kind of cool too, you know.
Also, I can't ignore all these comments. I just started reading them again.
Get it.
Your lovely wife. I'm going to make a Tippies for Titties poster with a shirtless guy on it. I approve. I wholeheartedly approve. I'm not ashamed to sell my body. Herman P. Hunter. If Kahuna loses, he has to admit that he secretly loves Highlander, which everyone knows is true. Afterwards, we get him to sing "I'm a Little Teapot" in a silly falsetto voice. I'll do that right now, but I will not admit that Highlander is a better movie than I think it is. It is not a terrible movie, but it's not a good film. Sorry.
I like the villain. The villain.
The villain is based. The villain is great. I love him.
He's in
scene
Starship Troopers. Did you know that?
Yeah, and he's the voice of. He does a bunch of voice acting too. He's a cool, legit dude.
He demoted himself so he could serve, boy. He demoted himself so he could serve, and he became a war hero because of it. Because he's one of the best.
Also, check out our videos about Starship Troopers. Like AC did one on his own, it was great, and then I'm like, hey, I want to do one. He's like, oh, fine. No, I notice you. I am the senpai. I noticed.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. You uploaded. I was like, I thought we were going to talk about it together.
That was kind of the energy a little bit.
I'm like, I wasn't upset that you did it without me, but I was kind of like, I wanted to do it.
I'm like,
can we do
that
it?
Sounds better. Like, we should do that. Yeah, you know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That being said, it would be fun. Like, here's something I want to do in the future. We'll do like a thing in the Discord or maybe on Twitter. I want everybody in the chat collectively to pick a subject, any subject, and we'll talk about it. Hopefully, one that we know nothing about, and that way the Justin in the group can prepare and research it. I won't research a thing, and I'll come full of factual bullshit. And AC will think about the philosophy of it all, and we'll discuss it, man. It could be a good time.
This is another reason why I really like the Discord. It's really like it's grown on me even more. Before, it was nice to have just mainly to communicate with you guys, but it's also really nice to communicate with like the audience. You guys can talk to us directly. Like, I'm gonna be posting everything there first. You know, like if you have ideas, like Kahuna just said, like that would be the place to do it. You can share music with us. Like, I don't know. Go check it out. I would ideally like to get this to a point where we're kind of just like using the Discord as the source of like our ideas and news and stuff like that. It'd be really cool to get it nice and active like that.
Plus, it has a life of its own. I occasionally will go a day or two without even checking. Nah, not a whole day. I'll check it like one time in a day sometimes, and I'll be like, oh man, there's a lot of stuff I had nothing to do with. What are people talking about?
Yeah, we even got attacked by a bot. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that I forgot. I thought it was something I thought it was something you did because everyone was saying you did it, and I'm like, what's going on, dude?
No, it was like a bunch of all the kids were telling Dad. They were like, AC, this is happening. They were like all tagging me, like, look, do you see this? And then and I had to kill the bot. I had to in Minecraft, I had to unalive said bot.
In Minecraft, you had to slowly put your hands around its throbbing neck and feel the life drain from it slowly.
Like a mosquito. Yeah, like a mosquito under my thumb. Yeah. No, it was pretty easy though. They make it easy. You can just ban, and then when you ban them, you can. It literally asks if you want to delete everything that they said. So I was just like, yeah, I do. Get out of here, robot. It was fun, but yeah. Evely, do you have anything? Any last minute things you want to say?
Yeah, you can still check out my music on any streaming platform. Just type in Evely and you can find my stuff there. Somebody's listening to it, which is good to see. I don't know who. I don't know if it's our people or if it's got reach elsewhere, but it's not like crazy numbers, but it's numbers that, add up over time, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. I am re-recording the song Spiral from Crush because I'm going to redo that whole album eventually. Probably next year sometime. But
do you have the guitar part done? That's right.
Yeah, more or less I got it wrapped up today. But the that song, because it's Elden Ring themed, Elden Ring has an expansion coming out at the end of May, and I'm like, oh, this would be a good time to get that back out there. I'm hoping to redo the video because I basically have wiped out my YouTube channel, so I'm hoping to dump any videos that I make under the Empty My Lungs banner channel, all that good stuff, to go over there and be a part of that coolness. So I'm hoping to have that song done by May 30th, whenever Night Rain releases. So look forward to that. I also did a song for Lord Otter that's more of a power metal track that once his book is closer to being released, that should be out as well. Hoping to do a little simple video for that too. That will also be over on EML. So plenty of stuff coming up. And then I'm hoping to have my next big release, 8 tracks or whatever, by the end of summer. So see how things go. But if things go smoothly. That's the game plan. So that's it. Oh, and I'm also on IAK. We record episodes. It's once a month right now. We put one out a week or so ago, and there's another one coming up with Michael Odin talking about his project that is not the Embrace. So it's pretty cool, especially if you're into like Greek mythology, almost like a God of War kind of vibe. That sort of hyper violent and Greek gods and stuff. Really, really, really striking art with that book. So and cheap too.
I hope that succeeds. I want it to succeed. It's super, super cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's the IAK podcast right here on YouTube.
That's the one.
IAK podcast.
For those who don't know, I, internal, A, action, K.
I think
Bugs.
they technically are a sister podcast of ours, right? Technically.
You call why? Because I watched that show with Kahuna. Now we're a sister podcast. Is that what happened?
Leveling, dude. He's leveling.
Yeah, sister leveling. I forgot about that. Oh my god.
Now, Paul.
I think I have that video saved somewhere. I should edit that. Anyway, we're going on. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Go check out the Flash Fiction. Let us know your favorite scene.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Also, I've been putting up shorts almost every day on my channel, and some of them have been kind of funny. Check it out; it's good.
And that one got like 1,000 or 1,500 views or something.
That was one for us actually. That was neat.
And it was
crazy.
About the music
I posted it, and like 10 minutes later, Justin, you were like, "Hey, dude, good job! You got 1,400 views." I'm like, "What? I didn't upload on my channel today." And you're like, "No, for the RNCs." I'm like, "What do you mean? I just put it up. I don't know if it's even public yet."
It's because it had the word dance in it. I think the algorithm just sent that thing to Mars.
I have
And
never
I didn't
felt
even show off my dance skills. It was disappointing. But.
Oh yeah, you got to make another one.
I've never felt more like we are directly communicating with a like living, intelligent like algorithm more than when I try to pander to like shorts and TikToks and stuff like that. Because seriously, you could pour over something. It's legitimately a good like piece of content, and then you throw it out there, and then like the algorithm is just not impressed. And then like my wife will just like grab a random video from her phone of just some mundane thing that happened in her day one time, throw some text on it, and then it gets like 3,000 likes or like 3,000 views or whatever. It's like, I don't get it.
Sometimes you put a ton of work into something and then it just doesn't do anything. And then you toss something together in like 15 minutes and it's like the best thing ever.
It's and the work is like technically good. You know, it's technically good. This is good stuff. You know, like you
we gotta be careful with this kind of talk. We're gonna sound like Shad from Shadiversity. It's like, I know these should be performing better. I don't know why they're not.
Yeah. Well, Shad, it's because there's an AI that's restricting everybody, and you have to like, I don't know, you have to like impress it.
You have to trick it.
Talk about dancing more. Yeah, I don't know.
Shad, have you ever talked about dancing? Have you considered it?
But it shows kind of the dangers of checking boxes, right? Because it's like, I'm over here like, I'm checking all the boxes. Why isn't it working? And it's like, yeah, that's what Hollywood's been doing for the last 20, 30 years. And
it's a weird thing. You have to do something different, but also familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to follow the trends, but not exactly, usually.
Right.
And that's a weird line to try to...
Yeah, because if it's too different, then it doesn't understand what it even is, and it doesn't know where... That's, and then it gets ignored. One that I really liked, it was just a shot from a movie, and it was just a chick was reading a book, and it sounded like Lovecraft, and I just like took that little clip from the movie and made a funny little meme out of it. But it's like TikTok didn't even know what to do with that. It sat there at like 0 for so long. Nobody even saw it. I was like, not a single poll. I'm like, I know one person watched this. I know for a fact one. What are you telling me right now, TikTok? This sucks.
Every now and then, but when you do shorts too, every now and again you like have a feeling about when you're like, this one's going to perform. Like the me reacting to the emo girl and how I'm done dating emotionally like distraught women or like emotionally damaging women, and then like it plays a clip of her dancing, and like as soon as I made that clip, I'm like, this is going to perform, and it definitely did. I was so happy.
Gotta love it. But anyway, I suppose we will get going here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so. At least I am.
That's it.
2 hour mark, yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll be a fun one. Maybe I'll split it into 2. That actually would probably be the best.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Had some good discussion here tonight, actually, boys.
Yeah. Good night. Good night. And you guys, thanks for listening, and you have a good night as well. Cheers.
Thank you for joining us.
What?
Thank you for joining us. That should be a short. Thank you for joining us on the Iron Seas. See you next Tuesday at 6:30 PST, the Lord's time. We will have our episode 55, and there will be a subject, and there may be a guest. Be there! Woo!